Hello there, my name is Luciano Oliveira. I am a Brazilian attorney, and today we're going to be talking about some strategies to optimize the tax treatment of your real estate portfolio in Rio de Janeiro. It's important to note that this strategy is more like for larger investors with multiple properties in their portfolios. This strategy is not ideal for single property buyers. And the reason for that is part of the strategy is to set up a special entity to acquire these companies in Brazil. And unfortunately, to set up an entity in Brazil is costly and it takes time, it takes attention, and you don't want to go that route unless it is worth. And to be worth it for you, you need to be buying more than a single property. So if you're just buying one or two properties, our recommendation is do it individually. But if you're buying, of course, like several properties as a portfolio, then it makes sense to follow this strategy we're going to share with you. So the first step of the strategy is to set up a special type of LLC. An LLC in Brazil is called a limitada or LTDA. That's the abbreviation. And although the limitadas or LLC, they are the same across the board, the government understands this like it's not as an individual buying and selling. It's actually a business with the nature of buying and selling real estate. And because of that, you are able to skip on some of the sales taxes and costs. This is important if you're buying and selling often, and if you have a portfolio that you want to keep balanced in terms of types of properties and neighborhoods in Rio de Janeiro. An example of the tax that you could avoid by using this strategy is the capital gain tax. The capital gain tax means that every time you are selling a property as a foreign citizen, you're gonna need to pay 15% at least of the gains of the profit you got from the sale. And although Brazilian citizens, they can roll over that money into a second property, and if they do so, they are not gonna be paying the 15%. Unfortunately, such option does not exist for foreign citizens. So if you have the company, you can actually skip the 15% tax altogether, because then the sale of real estate property is just the nature of your company. Another advantage of using a company for your real estate portfolio in Rio de Janeiro is that you could, instead of selling individual companies, you could maybe sell shares in the company holding the portfolio. So let's say if you are from the US and you own a portfolio of 10 properties in Rio de Janeiro, and if you want to sell a couple of them, maybe you could sell 20% of the shares to a second person in the US. From this perspective, there's not going to be a transaction in Brazil, so this transaction is not going to trigger taxes in Brazil, and you're not going to be probably triggering taxes in the US as well. Of course, this is a simplified way of explaining one of the advantages of this strategy. It is important for every single situation that you discuss the specifics of your case, of your situation, with a licensed Brazilian attorney. Well, I hope this was helpful. If you like this video, follow us for more tips.